Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Of course, back here with Tim. Kind of got a week and a little bit of exciting announcements. So we're going to go over three of them, at least overview, and we'll dive into certain ones, I guess, in more detail if we get questions. But Tim, first things first, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jason. How are you today?
Yeah, good, good. I know we just talked before recording. You're living through the first 24 hours of your Pfizer shot.
Yeah,
I know that must be fun.
just need some extra coffee today. That's all. So
Oh, good. Well, hey, looks like you guys are still crushing it. Obviously, some big announcements. Would love to start. I'll read the headline. I'll let you take the spotlight on each one. But
okay.
so Haven Labs Jamaica facility now fully operational. Quickly, we got a little question, and I thought it was interesting. If you could talk about kind of how this happened, maybe a little bit more on the deal making side, the success, the deal win, maybe if you want to dive into, but of course, what this means for Haven Labs and producing products by the end of the year.
Yeah. So we have our science team on the ground in Jamaica. The good news is that the legal framework there is different. Psilocybin is considered a functional food and it falls under the Ministry of Agriculture, not under the Ministry of Health. And so we can legally cultivate there. We were able to find a local partner and Haifa Wellness and partner with them so that we can have a GMP compliant lab to process through, so that our grow facility will then be going through a GMP compliant facility, which allows us to export it. So a lot of behind the scenes work, many of the pieces of equipment and materials that we needed to build the lab aren't easily available in Jamaica. So we shipped a container of equipment down there. And shipping during the pandemic has its own challenges. It took a long time for stuff to clear customs because of the protocols at the port and with customs. But we finally got that done and got the facility built out, and we've started work on the first crop. So we'll get through that and get ourselves down the learning curve. So it's an exciting way for us to validate our processes and to improve our processes to support not only the Jamaica lab, but eventually the protocols for our Vancouver lab, which we're building.
Yeah, no, awesome. Well, big win, and obviously, congratulations. I know some headaches that you guys had to deal with, so happy to hear that that was cleared up. Here, kind of moving on. I thought this was pretty exciting. Got some good questions too. Haven Life develops a new method for rapid psilocybin testing. Do you want to kind of give people an overview on what that means?
Yeah, so you may recall, well, I recall that we had a press release last September where we were granted permission from Health Canada, what they call a Section 56 exemption, in order to do lab work using psilocybin. So we did that work at UBC, at the lab at UBC, where it was a focus on analytic protocols around safety and quality, again, to support the development of the standard operating procedures and the protocols for building our lab. What the team found in using the documented processes for testing for the purity of psilocybin and concentration psilocybin is that the test was unreliable and gave inconsistent results, and took a significant amount of time to get to the point where you had results that were reliable. It's important to have good analytical tests in order to be able to do consistent dosing and to have the appropriate safety around the purity of the compound. So the breakthrough that they had, which was through chemistry, they came up with a way to improve the test methodology, so not only improve the accuracy, but dramatically reduce the time. So this will be important for us going forward, so that the products from Haven Life will be safe and reliable.
Yeah, cool, awesome. No, look, I appreciate the overview. Good for people that were curious. You kind of answered any questions I heard people ask. Now here, this is kind of the one I wanted to spend the most time on. Haven Life signs exclusive supply agreement with Atma. Give me a quick overview on Atma, and let's talk about also like kind of the winning of this deal. I would love to hear kind of the process, the behind the scenes, if you can share any of it.
So we've been in discussions with Atma for a while. They do psychedelic assisted therapy. They have clinics in Alberta. They were the first clinic in Canada to be given permission from Health Canada to actually administer psychedelics in a clinic setting. They also offer retreats and clinics in Costa Rica. And it's an important partnership for us because they're going to be building out additional clinic locations, acquiring clinic locations, and they have plans to do training of clinicians in psychedelic assisted therapy. So our relationship with Atma gives us access today to multiple clinics, and in the future even more as they build their footprint and as they train clinicians in using their protocols. So, you know, Vu Tran, who's the co-CEO and founder there, he and I have had conversations for quite some time now in order to reach this agreement. And it was important for them because they wanted to have a reliable supply of naturally derived psilocybin for their clinics, which they now have. And it was important for us because obviously we're looking for supply partner agreements for our products. So very much a good match between the two of us.
Yeah, big win. I'm curious. We get obviously a lot of questions. Talk to me about if you can, path to kind of monetary benefit. Of course, I mean here supply agreement makes sense. You're going to be selling them some of the supplies. Pretty straightforward. Can you dive into that at all a little bit for people who
Yeah.
are asking questions around money?
So I'm not going to provide any guidance on how much revenue will be involved, but what I'll do is I'll
Yeah.
tell you what the current state of affairs is on pricing in the marketplace. Synthetic psilocybin is currently priced between $7,000 and $10,000 a gram, US dollars, by the way. So that's $7 million to $10 million per kilogram. It's very expensive. And if you take that in microdoses, that means it's approximately $100 for a microdose, 10 milligrams, and it's approximately $1,000 for heroic dose, one dose. So, we expect to be able to offer value versus synthetics, and there's a lot of room there for pricing. Obviously that pricing is a negotiated number and not one for public consumption right now. But when we get to the end of the year and we'll have reporting on volumes and revenue, people will be able to see what that looks like. But right now it's exciting because there is a lot of room for pricing. We want to make sure that we provide good value, and we want to make sure we're providing the market with the safe and reliable supply of compounds that it needs.
Yeah. Look, I love the fact you talked about the going rate, which was awesome. And curious, can you talk on, I know that there's clinics like Atma's and there's a bunch of others. How much do these guys expect that they'd use? I know psychedelics are early. A lot of these clinics are kind of developing. Can you talk about that at all?
Yeah, so we're in the early days of this. There aren't a lot of people that have been granted permission to use the psychedelics, but that's growing. We're seeing increasing numbers. It wasn't that long ago that the only people getting exemptions were those with end of life compassionate use. Now we're seeing people that are ill but not in palliative care being granted, and I think that as the policymakers continue to see how this evolves, we're going to see more and more people being granted exemptions. And our expectation is we're going to see groups identified, and potentially a group like veterans will be identified, that veterans that have been diagnosed with certain indications will be blanket approved for use. So I think that the number of patients is going to grow very quickly over the next year or so. Mental health continues to be a large and growing issue, and there's no indication that that's going to be changing anytime soon. I think it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. No, look, hey, I appreciate the insight. Some great extra detail there too. Thanks for the kind of industry update. Anything else about either of these kind of three press releases that you wanted to talk about? Maybe links between them. I know we didn't really chat about anything else in general.
Well, I think what's important is all three of them are evidence of our focus on executing against our business plan and getting us on that path to revenue as quickly as we can. And that's where we've been single-mindedly focused since we went public, is executing against that plan, the things that we've put in our prospectus and in our listing filing. We think it's important for investors to see the reality of the business and that those words become actual tangible things. So, we're excited that the next thing that's going to be coming will be the launch of our natural health products. That's coming very quickly, and then people will see that those products are real and available, and our website will be up and so on. So we expect that announcement to be coming soon.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Tim, appreciate you taking the time. Good luck with the rest of the day with that Pfizer shot. Hope everything feels better. But thanks so much for joining. I look forward to doing another one of these
Thanks,
soon.
Jason. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.